University Interscholastic League, or UIL, is changing how heat stress is measured during athletics. Instead of using heat stress, the UIL will now adopt a new measurement called wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT. Now, you're probably thinking, WBGT? What is that? Basically, it's just a better way to measure the effect that high heat has on the human body. Instead of measuring just humidity and temperature, WBGT accounts for more variables that give a better and more holistic idea of what high heat does to the human body during strenuous activities, like exercising. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, this is just another thing I have to keep track of, and that's actually not the case. Instead of using heat index, it's going to be replaced with wet bulb globe temperature. As weather folk, we're not trying to restrict coaches and athletic directors from allowing their players to practice less. We're just trying to give you more accurate information, enabling you to make smarter and safer decisions when working around high heat. Now, you probably just tried to check for the WBGT on your default weather app, and you're probably surprised to see it not there. The reason for this is that most weather apps pull their weather data from the closest NWS or National Weather Station location around them, which often doesn't have a black bulb sensor, which is required to measure WBGT. Therefore, most free weather apps, like the default one on your iPhone, won't actually have WBGT as a measurement. If you're still a little confused about this, which I totally get, no worries. Your job is to develop students into athlete rock stars, not be weather professors. The California Interscholastic Federation, or CIF, implemented a very similar bill to what the UIL is currently recommending, which we covered in great detail in another YouTube video. It pretty much covers everything you need to know about the new mandates and policies set in stone by the CIF, which, by the way, are very similar to the UILs, and goes over key terms and concepts like wet bulb globe temperature and WBGT zones, solutions to measure WBGT, and much, much more. It's basically your one-stop shop for tackling new WBGT issues and the new rules that it comes with. So you should totally check it out if you're still a little confused. It should give you a great idea of what it covers. And also, if you learn better by reading rather than watching, we also have a blog on our webpage that you can check out. And it's got the same amount of detail and coverage as the video as well. Pretty much the same thing. So the key points that you need to take away from the new UIL recommendations are that it is recommended that schools utilize a scientifically approved instrument that measures wet bulb globe temperature or other scientifically proven methods such as an internet-based weather station software or application to monitor wet bulb globe temperature. Additionally, if you're using an on-site instrument, the instrument should be set up 30 minutes before practice and read 15 minutes before the start of practice. If you're using an internet-based application, the WBGT should also be checked at the 15-minute mark before practice. And WBGT readings should be taken every 30 minutes during practice in both cases. Also, any contest or game played in a WBGT of 80 degrees or higher must have a cooling zone on site and be available at all times to allow for full body, rapid cooling of athletes experiencing heat illness. Basically, this just means having things like an ice bath on hand, special cooling wraps, ice packs, just stuff like that. And then some modifications that you can do to reduce the risk of a heat-related illness include alterations of start times for best conditions possible, unlimited access to cool water, shade structures or tents on the sidelines to allow athletes to get out of direct sunlight, potentially using additional strategically placed official timeouts, possibly at the 6-minute mark or halfway through each quarter, which is agreed upon by both coaches and officials before the start of the game, lengthening half times for more complete cool down and hydration processes to occur. And if it's a sub-varsity contest, including middle school, it's recommended that the length of the quarters be reduced if both schools agree. At the end of the day, these recommendations are just that. Recommendations. You don't have to follow them, and they aren't mandated or enforced by the UIL, at least not just yet. However, they are proven to reduce the risk of a heat-related injury. And that's what both Perryweather and the UIL are all about: preventing accidents before they happen and maintaining a safe environment for your student athletes to develop in. If you learned something from this video, feel free to leave a like and subscription down below. Oh, and obviously, if you're proactive about measuring and monitoring wet bulb globe temperature, feel free to check out the PeriWeather website. We're basically your one-stop shop for all weather forecasting needs, including WBGT, lightning, precipitation, and much more. Hopefully we'll see you guys there, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.